Hey everybody, konnichiwa, what's up? It's JJ, that double J, yeah. So hey everybody, we're still in lockdown with Corona here in Japan. Or at least I am, that's what I'm doing to be safe. And I hope you all are staying safe too. So for today's vlog, or for today's lesson, or for today's story if you will, is a unique experience that mostly every foreigner living here in Japan experiences. And that's the wonders of teaching English. Even though a lot of us want to kill ourselves after doing it. But, that being said, being a teacher in Japan is a very unique experience, and when you can help children and see their smiles and stuff, you just get all this warm and fuzzy good feeling inside, and it is a good experience, and I do have lots of great memories. But, my case was a special case. So unlike other YouTubers or vloggers here in Japan, like Abroad in Japan, for example, who talks about his experience at teaching Japanese in schools, I had a unique experience in a unique school. I taught at a Yankee junior high school. So for those of you that don't know, a Yankee is a Japanese delinquent, or kind of like a Japanese gangsters without the guns or any of the craziness really. So weirdly enough, a Yankee comes from the word Yankee meaning American, but in Japan it has a complete different meaning. So when I first came to this school, man, there was 2 kids running around the school throwing a ball with like 3 teachers chasing them, telling them to stop. And I just came in and I was like, phew! And the teacher was like, whoa. And I just kind of tossed the ball and they're like, give that back to us. Man, I remember this so clearly. They were like, give that back to us. And I was like, oh yeah, you want this ball? They're like, yeah, give it back. I understood their Japanese. They were saying it in Japanese. And I was a new English teacher, so I was like, no. In English, please. And they're like, give it back. And I was like, no. You have to say, give it back, please. And they were like, right? They're trying to be cool, so they're hiding it in. And he goes, give it back, please. And the teacher's like, how does he do it? And then I was like, okay. I took the ball. I chucked it across the school, and I was like, go get it. And they're like, kusayano. Like, damn him. And the teacher was like, oh, you're gonna fit in just great here. And then when I got in the back of my first day and I started talking to the teachers, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a martial artist. I'm gonna be practicing martial arts here in Japan, and I wanna get into comedy and stuff. They're like, wow, you're really gonna do good here. And you kind of reminded me of GTO. And I was like, GTO? Who or what is GTO? They go, it's a great drama. It's called Great Teacher Onizuka. And as you can see in the back, I ended up really loving GTO, and it became my Bible for teaching at this school. So when they told me about it, a blonde-haired guy that does martial arts that teaches a Yankee school, I was like, yeah, that sounds like me. And when I read the book and I saw the TV drama, I was like, man, this guy is cool. This is gonna be my Bible. This is how I'm gonna teach this school. And that's exactly what I did. And teaching at the school was exactly like that drama, like almost to a T. I had kids smoking on school, which of course they can't do, and when I went up to one of the top Yankee guys and I was like, put that smoke out, he took the cigarette and he was like, oh, okay, here you are, and like gave it to me to pass it to me, and I was like, that's cool, so maybe he respects me, so he's gonna give me the cigarette, that's cool. But then when I went to grab it, he tried to put it out on my hand. He tried to put a cigarette out on my hand. And I was like, you mother, like, what am I gonna do, right? So what I ended up doing was the next day in class, I just kind of teased the crap out of him like GTO would. But when I say tease, I don't mean bully. I never bullied my students. I would tease them and have jokes with them, but I would always make sure that they're laughing and having a good time. So for example, with that student, we would play like an English bingo game and he would get it, and I was like, no you didn't. He's like, what do you mean? Teacher, I got a bingo. Give me the whatever. It was a snack or whatever. He's like, give me the thing. I got the bingo. And I was like, what? No, I don't see it. No. Oh, wait. He has a bingo. He has a bingo. She has a bingo. We're out of prizes. Kind of thing, right? You know what I mean? And then I had another one where there was no Japanese teacher. It was just me, and a fight broke out in the school. And one kid judo throwed another kid through a freaking glass window. Glass shattered everywhere, girls, So I come there, I break the kids up, and I make sure no one steps on the glass, and I do the right thing. And then a Japanese girl teacher comes, and she goes, oh my god, everyone, be careful, blah, 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 blah. And one thing about Japanese teachers and foreign teachers is a lot of Japanese teachers don't want the foreign teachers to build a relationship with the kids. Because in Japan, teachers kind of think of their kids as like their own kids and like they're mine. And his teacher came in, she's like, oh, thank you, JJ, you done your job, thank you, you can go back. And I was like, go back? There's glass everywhere, and 2 kids are fighting. What do you mean? I'll help you. And she's like, no, it's fine. And then, bam! Right in her face, this kid just socks the girl teacher, KOs her, kind of. She kind of like falls down. I was like, you sure you don't want my help? And so I help the female teacher, and I break up the 2 kids. I tell the other kid to go back to the principal's office. I make sure none of the kids are stepping on the glass. And it's just a clusterfuck of a situation. And eventually, when it was all cleared up, the Kocho sensei and everyone was thanking me. They were like, you did such a great job. Oh my God, that was so great. And then the 2 kids, I know one of them was a Yankee. I don't know if both of them were. But I ended up talking to them and having them, like, make peace. And then I think they both turned into Yankees. But the point is, I helped them. And it was good memory, in a way. Good memory, yeah. Guy going through a window. But yeah, that's how it was. But when it came to the Yankees, like I said, I eventually built a bond with them. And like the drama GTO 2, I eventually became friends with them. And because I was doing martial arts 6 days a week, eventually I would come to class and I'd have black eyes and I'd have my arm in a sling because someone just tried to rip it off during a jiu-jitsu match. And the Japanese Yankees ended up really respecting me. So much to a point that some of the Yankees that would never go to class ended up coming to class. And when they came to class, they came there to see me and talk to me and learn from me because I made learning English fun. I mean, you have to, right? You have to make it fun. And it became so crazy at one point. There was a female teacher and she was like, okay, everybody sit down. And then the Yankee guy was talking and she's like, okay, be quiet. And he's like, shut up. I'll only be quiet if JJ Sensei tells me to. And I was like, oh crap, don't do this to me or all the Japanese teachers are gonna hate me. But yeah, be quiet please. And he's like, okay, JJ Sensei. And I was like, yeah, I got this. And a lot of the Yankees ended up being in the baseball team at my school. So it was kind of cool because I would go in there with my Hunching Tigers shirt or something. And everyone in Gunma at the time were all Giants fans. Or Lions fans. I forget where Lions are from. But anyways, so they were all different team. No one liked Kansai because Kansai is so far away. And I would be like, well, I'm from Kansai because I lived in Osaka. So Tigers, play, 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 play. Which is a baseball chant. Sorry, nobody knows what that is. And yeah, basically all these, I would make this relationship with these baseball team. And then yeah, it just made it even better. And I had all these students in my palm of my hand like an army. No, I'm joking. They were friends, which is what I believe is important. Japanese teachers don't treat the students like friends. They treat them like their own children. And like their own children, they're going to rebel. But if you treat them with respect and friendship, it's a way better bond, I think, that you can have with students. Just another teaching tip with JJ. But back to the story. So with the Yankee students, man, everything was going good about after the first year. They were all my friends. But then I realized that the Yankee guys were not the problem. It was the Yankee girls. The girls were untouchable. The Yankee guys were scared of the Yankee girls. And when it comes to stories about the Yankee girls, man, I got one of the worst. So there's this one time at school where before class starts, we do this English bingo. And this Yankee girl, all the time, she's sleeping in class or she just doesn't come. And this one day she came, she was doing bingo. And I was like, great, this is awesome. She's actually participating in English class. I'm doing something right. And she got a bingo. And she was like, hi, sensei, bingo. I was like, yes, okay. I'll get you a sticker right away. And then I went to her and I noticed I didn't have a sticker. So I was like, oh, okay, hold on though. I'll get you a sticker right away. Just hold tight, okay? She goes, get away from me. And I was like, what? And she's like, get away from me. You're dirty. And I was like, dirty? What? No, I'm pretty clean. I mean, and she was like, ew, you're dirty. Don't come near me. Disgusting. And I was like, what? No, I'm clean. I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, yeah, get away from me. Ugh. If you touch me, I'm going to yell sexual harassment. And I was like, what? Sexual harassment? Well, everyone can see you here, so no way that's going to fly. And she just kept going like, get away from me, get away from me. And I was like, holy shit, okay. I guess it's time to be a teacher and lay it down and talk to her, right? So then a Japanese teacher who's like in her 30s, very quiet, very calm, very nice. She came by and she goes, yeah, Joshua Sensei, don't worry, just ignore her. And I was like, no, I'm not going to ignore her. I changed all these badass Yankee guys. I should be able to break through with this girl. just give me a couple seconds. And she's like, no, JJ Sensei, please don't. And it was so annoying because I was trying to help her, and then here she is telling me not to. So I was like, okay, you do it. And then she kept telling me like, no, stop. So I was like, okay, but then you gotta talk to her then if you don't want me to. And she goes, very kind voice, very small voice, because she was scared. So she was like, yeah, you shouldn't talk to JJ Sensei like that. He's a teacher and he deserves your respect. And the Yankee girl just came up and looked, and she was like, you're in your 30s, not married, and don't have any kids. You're probably never gonna have a kid and die alone. And I could literally see the Japanese teacher's face just going, like breaking inside, and I was like, oh crap, I should have just left it alone. And those girls were the worst. They were even taking like lunch money from other students and asking students to ask their parents for more money and then give them to them the next day at school. And yeah, like 14 years old, having sex, drinking alcohol. Some of the top Yankee girls had tattoos, like actual tattoos and stuff. They're just like crazy because they don't even seem like kids. They seem like adults. And one of the creepiest stories with those girls too is one time I was going to my martial arts class, and on the way there, and I ended up meeting one of the Yankee girl students. And she goes, oh, JJ Sensei. And she was just wearing her normal clothes. She wasn't in uniform or anything. And she goes, oh, where are you going? And I was like, oh, I got martial arts practice, I'm going, but hey, it's good seeing you. And she started grabbing my shoulder. She's like, oh, you're very muscular. And I was like, uh-oh, this is creepy. And she's like, why don't we? And I was like, yeah, no. I gotta go to training, see you. And I pedaled so fast away from her, I was so creeped out. Cause it's so weird. Ugh. Yeah. But I didn't even know who she was at first because she had piercings, you know, she had her sleeves up so you could see a tattoo. I thought it was like an 18-year-old. And then it wasn't until she said like JJ Sensei that I realized it's my 14-year-old Yankee girl student. Well, I guess she was being nice to me. That's a positive, right? But yeah, so there you go. So the girls are the most scariest. The guys can be tamed if you're a guy, I feel. So yeah, those are some of the crazy Yankee stories I've had at my school. And for the first year of teaching there, I've had the kids do the concho where they do this and they stick 2 fingers up in your butt, which is very rude and disrespectful. I had the kids come up and talk down to me. I had one kid take a blue chalk thing and he tried to stick it up my butt. It's funny when I think about it, but that day I was pissed because I had black pants on and he's like, oh yeah, JJ Sensei, there's something over there. And I went to get it, and then as I bent down, because I dropped something, he ran up and stuck the blue chalk right where the butthole is. It didn't go in my butt, but you know, it still pissed me off. And I was like, damn you! And then after school, I had to talk with him and have this heart-to-heart, and he just wanted to do it to be cool in front of all the other Yankee students, so I was like, whatever. Water under the bridge. But yeah, my black pants had this little blue spot. It was so, I was so annoyed. But now that I look back on it, I think it's funny, creative, and just good times. Something I would have done when I was a kid, probably. But yeah, the girl Yankees, nothing you can do. Too powerful, and just scary. The guys won't even touch him. When the girl was saying kitanai and the teacher was going like, stop, even the guys were like, JJ, just leave it alone. But eventually the Yankee girl students were kind of cool with me too. They wouldn't build a relationship like the guys would, but I don't know. They said I was cute and they just left me alone, which works for me. And lastly, the other thing I wanted to share about you with teaching at a Yankee school, but this actually kind of refers to all schools in Japan, is the problem with half students. Half meaning half American, half some other country, and half Japanese. So Japan has a long history and a long belief of we are Japanese, we were never Mongols, we are pure blood, which is, you know, whatever. But people that are half in Japan have it really tough because they're never considered Japanese, just like foreigners, and they get bullied by their looks in school. So where I lived in Guma, there's a large Brazilian population and a lot of half students. And when I worked there, I've seen the bullying, I've seen the ijime as we call it in Japan, which means bullying. And yeah, it's not nice, and I always fought against it. But there was one good story I remember too, which I'll tell you the good story before the bad then. So the one good story was one day I was walking outside my house, which is actually pretty close to the school, and I saw this kid pushing a bike. And he looked really young, so I came up to him and I was like, hey, what are you doing? How old are you? He's like, I'm 14. I was like, if you're 14, you can't ride a bike, what are you doing? And he's like, I know. I'm sorry. And I was like, no, I don't want you to get arrested, so walk that bike all the way back to your home, don't ride it, and I don't want to see you with the bike again. And he was like, oh, okay, thank you. And he's like, are you a teacher? And I was like, yeah, I teach at the school over here. How about you? Are you a student? And he goes, yeah, but I haven't been going to school, so I don't know. And I was like, what? You're 14. You need to go to school, man. It's important. And he was like, yeah, I know. Maybe I'll go to school and blah, 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 blah. We had like a 20-minute talk as he's holding this bike in the middle of the road. And I'm just like laying down some like knowledge on that kid. The next day I went to school and I'm teaching my class. Like I'm in the middle of a speech and I'm just like, hello everybody. So today we're going to learn this and then we're going to learn this. And I looked to my side and I saw the exact same kid. And he just looked at me with a shit-eating grin. He was just like, so I was like, what the hell? Is he in my class or is he just passing through? Like, what the heck? And then you know what the coolest part was? The next class I had, he was in it. He was a student at my school and he came back because of my prep talk, he said. And it's just such a good feeling to help a kid like that. Like he didn't want to go to school. He wasn't going to go back. I had a heart-to-heart talk with him. He came back and he graduated. I got to see him graduate. And it was just like, yes! So happy. One of my best memories of teaching at that school. But sadly, not all the half students have such a happy ending. So one of the saddest stories I have is of a kid that I believe was half African and half Japanese. And he got bullied all the time because he had curly hair and he couldn't speak Japanese because he moved to Japan when he was like 10. So he couldn't even write Japanese. So he felt just so out. And he couldn't connect with the other students and they couldn't communicate with him because his Japanese wasn't perfect. So he connected with me as a foreigner and because he spoke English. And I really treasured that kid. He was such a nice kid. He always came to me, always wanted to talk to me. But he had a little brother and his little brother couldn't handle it. And I guess his little brother is in elementary school and jumped off the building and died. And that poor kid, that poor student of mine had to go to school the very next day. No break, no time really to reminisce. Or maybe he had 1 or 2 days, but yeah, man, that's something he should have had a year off or something to deal with. And he used to be the happiest kid I ever seen, and when he came back, man, just the saddest face was on him. And I didn't know what to say. That's a situation that I don't have a say. I don't know what to say. I shouldn't say anything maybe even because it's a lot of pain in that kid's heart. And the way the other students treated him was so much nicer, but it was a pity nice. So I could see just heartbreak in that kid's eyes, and yeah, it was a very sad story. And unfortunately I left that school before I could see him graduate, but I believe I heard that he graduated, and I hope all the best to that kid because he was just a warrior, an amazing kid. And yeah, sorry, as I think about this I just remember and just really sad memories, so let's move on to the next thing. But before I do, that's just a really serious issue in Japan that you'll hear a lot about. Students being either half American, half African, half something, and half Japanese, and just not fitting in, being bullied and mistreated in society. Even when they're adult, it still keeps going on. But there's something that I brought to the table, and as long as people can learn more about it and do something, hopefully we can make it a little bit better in Japan. But the last thing I want to say about teaching at a Yankee school is when I teach there, people treated them like crap. They were delinquents. They weren't following the rules. They were this, they were that. Like some of the kids would goof off in class and the teachers would be like, you can't do that. Study. And I was like, he made a funny joke. It was great. Tell me that again after class. Okay, let me know the end of that joke. It was so good. And I would encourage the kids, to be funny, to do their things. And by encouraging them, I would also add the jokes that they put in or the anime that they liked or whatever they were interested into the English that I was teaching them. And therefore they would learn. That's why the Yankees that never went to any other classes were coming to English class and learning. I made it fun by listening to them and being their friend and entering what they liked in there. I believe even the Japanese girls like boys bands like Johnny's and I don't know, all these boys bands that I don't know anything about. But I looked it up. I searched the names of the boys bands they like and I printed out English teaching sheets with their pictures and stuff. And then the girls are like, next time put this guy on the page and blah, 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 blah. And it spoke to them and it helped them learn. And because I learned how to do that and everything, that's how I made these Yankees become more like the average student. And by paying attention and learning about these kids, whether they're Yankees or they're normal kids, I was able to build rapport and, as a friend, help them want to learn. Also, the Yankees were just fun. They were making jokes all the time and just having fun the whole time, and that's what kids should be doing. So when the teachers are saying, don't do that, you're never gonna be anything, I was telling them, tell me that after school, and you're gonna be a comedian. And you know what? I wouldn't doubt it if some of those kids didn't become like the greatest comedians. Actually, in Japan, a lot of Yankees became comedians. Because it's just being creative and being who you are. And that's what's the most important thing in school. Having fun, making friends. I just can't believe that Japanese teachers still don't understand that. And I mean, not all of them. I've met lots of good Japanese teachers too. A lot of the GTs in the world. I mean, I'm just kind of stereotyping from my school, but in other schools I've met lots of great teachers. And I'm sure there's a lot of Japanese teachers too that know how to deal with Yankees and how to encourage them and how to make them great too. But that's just my story. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that story. And it's just a funny, great time I had in Japan, where all my fellow English teachers were like, yeah, my kid drew a cool anime picture of me. I got to be the guy that was like, yeah, my kid tried to put a cigarette out of my hand. Fun times. And at first it was stress and I hated it, but after the first year I learned that these kids just had such hard lives, and like, I want to say like a black heart, like a damaged heart. Because some of their parents died, some of them were abused. I heard all these stories from other teachers, like behind my back or over a shoulder. And one Japanese teacher actually told me like, oh yeah, that girl is actually, we're worried that she's being abused by her father and there's nothing we can do to help her, or that kid has this problem. So the first year I was kind of clueless. I was just like, man, they're all pieces of crap being mean to me. But then I realized they got their own issues and that's how they take it out. So Yankees, they have a bad image in Japan. They're really frowned upon. They have a hard time getting jobs. Their life is messed up by the minute that they don't do what is told. But you know what? If you ever see a Yankee in Japan, make that person your friend, because they can be really cool, or maybe just really need a friend. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed that and learned some things. And yeah, see you next time. Honna mata na. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you learned a little bit about Yankees and learning English in Japan. Please make sure to turn on the notifications, subscribe, and hit that like button so that I can make more great videos like this for all of you. Thank you so much for supporting me, and if you'd like to support me more, there is my Patreon down below. So thank you guys very much. See you next time.